Welcome to my stem sword PvE build for Homestead. You will find additional information on alcasthq.com/Windwalker. The first part of the video I'm going to talk about the basics, and the second part I will show you off the rotation. I do use the Thief Mundu Stone. It is always slightly better than the Shadow, however the difference is not that huge. And in terms of race, so I am a red guard. I simply like it best because of this passive, gives you the best sustain. However, a Khajiit, Orc or Imperial is also totally fine. In terms of buff food, we are using this here, and the weapon crit pots. You will find like the ingredients, how to craft it on my website. In terms of gear, we used to use Twiceborn Star, now we're using Two-Fanged Snake. So basically the difference between those two sets is, I made some tests, and for example Rapid Strikes on Twiceborn Star it did like 8.4k damage and the max hit, and on Two-Fanged Snake it's 8.9k. So there is a small difference in damage, right? However, of course you have to be careful. For example, if you have 3 stem people in the group and one is using Night Mother's Gaze and the other one Thunderflame, those two other sets give both penetration, then you will not need Two-Fanged Snakes. Then you can use Twiceborn Star. This set here. Very important. However, like this here in total gives 5k penetration, and when you calculate Night Mothers and Thunderflame together it's like 6k. The difference is really not that huge. In terms of monster set, we are using Validref because Krog would be overkill with penetration. I'm using 7-piece medium armor. As you can see, my health is pretty low. However, in a trial environment, or like when you have a tank with you that has ebon armor, you will sit at like 17 to 17.5k health, and with a Warhorn running you will be at 18k health, around that. Now if you think I don't like this low health, you also could use a heavy and a light piece, so you benefit more from the Undaunted from this year, because currently we only get 2%. The reason why this is because medium armor just has pretty nice bonuses. The more medium armor we are wearing, the more weapon crit we get, and the extra weapon crit helps, like, is better than the extra stats. On the other hand, of course, if you're dead because you don't have enough health, you're useless to your group, so maybe you want to go 5-1-1. All divines, of course, to boost our Thief Mundu Stone as much as possible. I simply don't have a divine shoulder, that's why I'm using an infused one. Jewelry, same, all weapon damage, and of course robust. You will find on my website in which trials you can get those kind of gear. Now again, you can still use Twiceborn Star. It's not a lot worse compared to Two-Fanged Snake if you don't want to gold out another set. Then we have Maelstrom weapons, they're still very strong. Axe here sharpened and a dagger sharpened. You could use 2 daggers if you want. I don't recommend running 2 axes though, but 2 daggers would also be nice. I just like the extra bleed damage from the axes. Then we have a Maelstrom bow sharpened. Needs to be sharpened because, I mean, if you have everything in sharpened you will get the most damage. It's really simple. That's basically this. Then champion points, Warlord 100, Mooncalf 100. And here I have 95 mighty, 65 precise strikes and 40 thaumaturge. Don't put points into piercing if you're wearing Two-Fanged Serpent set, because this here gives so much penetration already. There is no point putting more points into penetration because we are already really close to the cap. To show you that off, I will put another video in the description, the link, So you can see I kind of try to compare when we reach the max penetration on a boss. And here just put the 100 and 100. Now another thing to note, if there is no poison disease of physical damage and only like elemental damage or something, you could put points out, take it out here and put it into the spell shield. That's also very important. Now, skills, rending slashes, really strong dot, works with the maelstrom weapons. Then we have deadly cloak here. Now I only use this, well, this helps a lot. Like if you have trouble surviving on trash fights, what you could do is take this and put it here, because you usually want a steel tornado at this point. So because you don't really have time to dot up the trash mobs, and this helps a lot with survival. It gives you 20% less AoE, like damage from enemy AoE, which is a lot, and it deals decent damage. Now in a single target fight you don't need steel tornado, so you can take out the steel tornado, so we have rending slashes here. Rapid strikes, we empower our dots with this. Hurricane, still really strong. It's nice because it also gives us like the major ward and resolve, increasing our physical and spell resistance, helps a lot. Then we have bound armaments here, gives us 8% more max stem. And rend. Now this works with the maelstrom weapons. I will show you that in a second on the target skeleton. Like it deals a lot of damage. Back bar, endless hail. That's why we need a maelstrom bow. Now I forgot to say, like on my website you have easy to get gear setups in case you don't have the maelstrom weapons, like always. So endless hail here. Then rearming trap. Gives us minor force, increasing our critical damage done by 10%, and it also deals nice damage. Works with the maelstrom weapons. Poison injection, same thing. If you have maelstrom weapons, use it from 100%. If you don't have maelstrom weapons, use it from 50%. Then last slot, you can either use crit surge or, for example, cult drops or vigor, whatever you want. Bound armaments, because we need to double slot this. And on the last spot here, it's really up to you what kind of ultimate you wanna put here, because we mostly use rend. This also helps a lot with survival, because you see like 50% of the damage done comes back in healing. That's a lot. That's actually kind of insane. I just want to point out a few passives that are very important. So here, like, I don't have those because they're useless, but nope. Especially in storm calling, like you see energized, 5% more physical damage, implosion and automatic execute. It's just those two are very important. Of course, stuff like power zone is also really nice, because a rend usually costs 150 ultimate on other classes, and on a Sorc only 128, so we can use our ultis a lot. That's basically it about the setup. Now I want to show you off the rotation on the target skeleton. Stem Sorc has a pretty fast rotation, so I will just show it to you slowly first. Hurricane, deadly cloak before we engage, and then let's say trap, poison injection, I weapon swap. Now I do a rapid strikes, rending slashes, the rapid strikes, deadly cloak, weapon swap, trap, endless poison, and I reapply hurricane when it's needed, and then I start fresh. When the rending slashes run us out, I use it, and then I swap back. So I kind of usually, when I do rapid strikes, rending slashes, the moment I activate rending slashes, I know I do another rapid strikes, and I go back bar and I reapply all those skills. This is kind of the trigger skill, so I know I have to go to the back bar. So this is a 9 seconds duration. Here it's like 10 seconds, and this is also 10, so it almost perfectly lines up. Hurricane has to be activated whenever it's like whenever it run out, but the animation is pretty damn obvious. So now to show you off in a fast rotation, activate this and this. As you can see, the rotation is very fast paced, and as you have noticed, every time I use rending slashes I know, okay, another rapid strikes, I go to my back bar to do all this stuff. So obviously if you have buff timers it's easier, because you just can track rending slashes and you're good to go. If you don't, like if you don't have to reapply Hurricane, or then you can do 2 rapid strikes. If you have to reapply Hurricane, you only do 1 rapid strikes, then you go to the back bar again. So it's kind of tricky to get used to the Hurricane, like when it runs out, what you have to do, but it's not that huge of a DPS loss, like if you do 1 more rapid strikes or not, just saying. So don't worry. And yeah, obviously use rend whenever it's ready, just to show you when I buff myself. See, it's at 90k, and in a raid environment it will go even higher up, because aggressive warhorn and more, you have more resources and all kind of stuff. That's basically it. One other thing I want to mention is this here, the Hawkeye thing. You want to do as much light attacks as possible on your bow bar, at least 3 times, because you get 15 to 25% more damage on your bow abilities, and that's a lot. The only thing you have to be careful is, as you know, the Maelstrom weapons have a 4-second timer. So you need to make sure to rapid strikes, then weapon swap, light attack, trap, endless hail and poison injection before the red glow on your hand runs out. If you're too slow, it will not get empowered, and that's a problem. Okay, that's very important. If you don't have Maelstrom weapons, I recommend just keep this rotation, because it's just simpler rather than apply all the dots and then just do some rapid strikes. But in the end it's totally up to you. Anyway, that's basically it. If you have any questions, ask me in the comment section below. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Cheers.